got the notification. People got notified today. Good morning, everybody. ¿Cómo amanecieron? Can you believe I woke up this morning and it was crispy? It's starting to not be so crispy, but right now I'm on the porch. I think it's crispier inside of my house than out here. It's nice and bright. And I'm sitting at my porch table, and I want to let you all know that I'm sitting and on the table I have a bunch of sage, and it smells so good. I had cut it before it went into seed, and now it's dry, so I'm gonna make little bunches. But this morning I got up con ganas de comer atole del negrito, and I made my little TikTok that I usually make, and then I started getting curious about things. And you know, my haters hate for me to slurp my coffee. So I wanted to ask you guys, I'm not going to quit slurping my coffee because I like to drink it that way. But I was also eating cream of wheat, atole del negrito this morning. And I'm like, But sometimes when I go to Ophelia's, we sit at the big screen TV, and Ophelia puts different shows. Because I don't know, Ophelia's feed line gets a lot of different uh, people that she follows, and she follows people from Mexico, and it's like, I don't get them on my feed line. I don't even get them on TikTok or YouTube on my feed line. But some of these people are always eating taquitos or nachos or botanas, but they decide to burp, and it's like, what the heck? Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Esther Martinez, Teresa Riley, Hopi, ¿cómo amanecieron? Lady Chapa. And I was wondering, what do y'all feel about? I know people don't like us to eat. I know Annette used to say a lot, don't eat. You're always eating. Or, stuff like that. But what do y'all think about people that burp? And they don't have 5 followers like me. These people have thousands of followers and they're on the internet burping. Good morning, Dora Gonzalez, Prime Girl. Do you all think that que eso es de buena educación? Teresa Riley, you think it's gross for someone to burp on the internet while they're doing a show? I think it's funny because I know that people don't like to hear me slurping the coffee, especially those haters out there, but I do it on purpose. But y'all know that part of my TikTok channel, most of it is good morning, how are you? How's your coffee? Did you cover it with a donut, a cookie? What did you cover your coffee with? Of course, me, I cover it with different things around here. The other day I made tortillas de azúcar with pancake mix. And I don't buy flour because then I would start making flour tortillas, and I don't think so. That's called gaining weight. You stop it at the store level. Oh, is it as bad as farting? But would farting be an accident or would burping be an accident? Because Because I'm sure that people don't just want to fart on purpose. Hi, Norma Hernandez, Maria Gonzalez. But I think it's funny. Um, Actually, the day is so nice today out here. It's not even that breezy. Good morning, Faye. I'm looking at this cup, and I think Ophelia has already left like 2 cups here. This one is not one of them. This is mine. It was given to me. But I think she left one that says Peacocks United and another one that says Mother's Day. Because sometimes we come to each other's house with our cups, our own cups. Ophelia's favorite early in the morning energy drink. Good morning, Saint Martinez. It's too early for that, I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't like them. I have a problem drinking red drinks. When I was little, I never drank Big Red. I didn't like it. Strawberry stuff that was red, liquid, I didn't. I didn't, I don't know if it's something in my brain that just doesn't like the red liquid. You're drinking Coke y pan dulce, Lady Chapa. No, I already ate my plate of cream of wheat, and I'm glad my sister Frances didn't make it because I would probably get the runs. I use sweet and low now that I'm an adult on cream of wheat, but not her. She still adds that half a cup of real sugar. You love Big Red, Hopi? I don't like it. I never did. Not even when I was little, when it came out. I didn't never like it. I don't go out of my way to even taste the stuff. You've been seeing replays, Faye? But these guys are bad. I mean, sometimes they're sitting at the beach in Cancun or Puerto Vallarta or Acapulco doing their shows, and they're just out and out burping. And it's like, it's funny because when they start trying to outmatch each other, that's when it gets worse. Today is Veterans Day. Let us not forget those soldiers that are out there defending our rights to say whatever we want on the internet or say whatever we want on the streets. They're still defending our rights, even if they're in other countries. Sometimes I think they're not defending our rights at all, but we never know. So in their hearts, they are defending our rights. So my main thing is respect our flag, and that's my main thing. But if you have time, say a little prayer for all of those soldiers that are not in this country.
Opie says,
My glasses, yeah. Let me go get them, Hopi. Let me let me just turn the screen to the white truck, to the white elephant on my driveway.
Good morning. ¿Cómo dijo ella? Alabaré, 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 alabaré a mi Señor. En el tren de la vida que va para Sion. Casa tu madre, perro. Lárguese a la verga, hijo de puta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Me too, me too. Good morning, sister. Good morning, sister. Good morning, sister.
Good morning, Peggy Segovia. I'm back with my glasses. You know, sometimes we need to stop and think. I was sitting here. My brother has two of his adult children in the military of the United States, and Frankie, our nephew, is in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. He's a head nurse at one of the hospitals there, and last month they had to evacuate because of that hurricane. And it was a lot of responsibility. And we have Vanessa, who is a sergeant in the army, and she's in South Korea. Um, but not only do we have to honor the veterans and stuff, we have to remember the mothers that gave their children to this country so that they could defend those rights. And I'm remembering somebody that I met here in Raymondville years back, and her name is Clarita, and she passed away. By the time she got a 21 gun salute because two of her sons had passed away in the military. So when you think that they're not doing anything, I think one of her sons passed away during the Kuwait War. And when you think that these kids are not doing something out there and they're putting their life at risk, think about the moms that are here suffering and praying for their children all the time and just worrying. I always think about my sister-in-law,
Angie,
and she's
I
always,
gotta go.
yeah,
But
we'll see you later.
just remember, Angie, I'll be back. Dijo Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.
You'll be back.
I'll be back.
Don't forget not to burp. When you drink your Red Bull, she says she'll be back. But I want y'all to remember that it's not just the military personnel that is out there, it's the parents that are here left behind, praying for their children to come back safely. And I don't know if they put this date so close to Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is a family oriented holiday. And it is a holiday in the United States that is remembered for different reasons, you know. But I'll never forget that I went to that funeral and that lady got buried in La Sara here, a little town away from Raymondville. But she was given, I think they called her a golden mom, 21 gun salute. But what a sacrifice for her because two of her children had passed away in the military. And, you know, we don't think about all these things when, you know, we say it's Veterans Day. Oh, well, you know, no, it's Veterans Day. These people put their life on the line for their beliefs in our country and our flag and our, sometimes we talk BS and we say, it doesn't matter. They're not really defending anybody's rights here. Um, I believe that we have too many troops in South Korea defending something that should have been settled a long time ago. But nonetheless, they're still there. And they're there because they're issued out to be there, you know, whether it's humanitarian work or not. We still need to think that these people are out there sacrificing some part of their life and their freedom for us. And we take it, yes, Esther Martinez, and we do take advantage of a lot of the blessings that we have in this country as far as our freedoms are concerned. I can sit here and be talking BS and not have to worry about some crazy running the streets trying to shoot me because I live in a one cow town. It's like, how fast can a police officer get to me? He lives across the street. So, in a one cow town, hi Alma. Uh, in a one cow town, they can get to you pretty quick if they really want to. Now in this town, because I've been bad mouthing the police department, they'll probably say, "Oh, it's Gongora, just let her be. She can't defend herself." I'm fixing to, I'm fixing to paint all my phone fence line posts purple. Since purple post means shoot on sight, you cross the line, you're gonna get shot. I don't care. You can do whatever you want with that sentence. Take it to the bank, get interest on it. I had them painted red, pero ya se les cayó la pintura. It's been 20 years, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go into the purple law of Texas and not have to post keep out signs. Just paint all the postes purple. I tell people, I believe in different things, and I'm gonna get up so y'all can see one of them. Can you see it? That's right on my that's right on the front of my door, and it says there's nothing in here worth your life. And it's true. It's like, why would you like to get into somebody that has that kind of a sign on their door, or this kind of a sign on their truck when they're driving around town? When they're driving around town, or this type of antenna on their other truck. This is a military bullet, and I guess this is one of the old time. That's the antenna on my Nissan. Why would you think I'm not crazy? I can be crazy. It's like I have silent silent signs. I don't have to be telling you what I believe if I carry it right there on my window. It's like, I think that little thing is like one of those old time military suits for the Navy that they had the SEALs used to use. I laugh because I've had that truck since 2010, so I've had that truck 15 years. And at one point, I had loaned the truck to my daughter and my son-in-law. And the kids at the school kept messing with the antenna and bending it, the regular antenna. So my son-in-law got the idea of putting that on the truck, and it has stayed there. Uh, he does things like that, and it's funny to me because I've never taken that antenna off of that truck. And I was taking pictures of something we had gone, and I noticed that my truck didn't have that antenna, and I was like, what the heck? They got on my driveway and stole my antenna? Y nada, I guess old timers got to me because I was looking at the blue truck, and the Nissan is the one that has that antenna. I'm like laughing about it. But I mean, we believe in different things, and I do believe in the right to bear arms. A lot of people in Texas believe in the right to bear arms. Um, but as much as we believe in the right to bear arms, it's not something that we carry all the time. I don't, even though I'm licensed to carry and stuff, I don't. But sometimes, I can, uh, if I wanted to. Even I could even carry on an airplane if I wanted to because I'm licensed to do it. There's things that you have to have when you go on airplanes and you carry, but I'm licensed to do a lot of things. I have a TWIC card. I have a lot of clearance, but yet all the clearance that I have, I still fill out applications and have to put, I have pending court dates. So, but these this morning it was just to touch bases on you guys about Veterans Day, about the things that we do on the internet that other people don't like. Other people don't like for you to be eating on the internet. They don't like for you to drink coffee. They don't like for you to wake up people with, hey, ¿cómo amanecieron, raza? Amanecieron con un cafecito bien tapadito. ¿Con qué lo están tapando, raza? They don't like that. Uh, Good morning, everybody. How did you wake up this morning with a nice cup of coffee and a donut on the side? I want to let y'all know that they don't like that. But I also want to let y'all know that even if you don't think that you're influencing anybody while you're on the internet, you are influencing people that see you on the internet. I don't know how my little 6-year old, let me show you guys. And you think we're not influencing anybody, but my little 5-year old, she watches my TikToks and she has her own little setup where she does her own little things and she makes her other sisters videotape her. Well, last Christmas, she got me this, and it's like a coffee and a donut on the side. And she saw it somewhere and forced her mom to get it for me because she told her mom, Grandma always says, Good morning. How's your coffee and a donut on the side? So she got me this little fluffy toy and I have it next to my computer. So when you think that your actions are not affecting other people, yes, they are. When you think that what you're doing is not being seen by other people, yes, it is. If you think that children don't see what you do, they do see you, even if they're not repeating it all the time next to you, or even if they're not next to you all the time. My grandchildren are 5.5 hours away from here. But yet they watch me on TikTok every day and they know what I say on TikTok every day. And this little girl came up with this one because she saw it at the store. And she wanted it for her grandma because her grandma always says, How's your coffee and a donut on the side? So it's like, if you're burping on the internet, it doesn't look right, but I don't know why you're doing it. So it's like, hey, if that works for you to get haters to come onto your show and give you the view, then why not? It's like it works. But a lot of people I know don't like for me to be eating on the internet, and I still do it. This morning I ate a whole plate of cream of wheat. And I use the N word because, of course, negrito is negro is black. So it's like, When we were growing up, that cream of wheat was called cream of wheat and it had a black person on the label. I think they took him off, just like they took Aunt Jemima off. But that's what we grew up with. And, you know, I'm not going to stop saying negrito. KK, you got a present in bed? I'm going to skip the espresso. I know, Mr. Smith. Don't forget, KK, you're hurt. So don't overwork Mr. Smith in bed. Hi, Maria Chongos. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I've only heard like a couple of people fart on the internet, so it's like funny to me. But I think that those were accidents, or it could have been the chairs or something, and then they got accused and it went viral. Okay, I'll put them on my truck. They hate me around here. I still have Ophelia for mayor on my truck with her picture on it. I have one on each side of the truck. I have no intentions of taking them off neither. If it's not mayor season, oh well. If it comes up again, hopefully Ophelia will run again and spend the $500 that it costs to stop somebody else from getting on. You know, I think they cheated on the voting, but we didn't make a big deal. It was just we didn't want somebody to win. So it was worth Ophelia's $500 to do that. Then somebody else spent more than $500 putting a whole fence of posters of Ophelia. Don't vote for Ophelia. That was funny in this one cow town. It's funny the things that you can get away with in a one cow town. Um, you can get away with probably more than you could in a bigger town because not that many people would know who you are. But here, they do. I try to go at odd hours to HEB because if something's going to happen in this one cow town, it'll happen at HEB. All the way from people pulling their hair at the store to people trying to videotape you at the store and then saying they weren't. And HEB really can't tell you you're banned from coming into the store because it's the only store here. They don't have competition. Walmart even got out of here because of everything that was happening. I think, a lot of people don't realize that she does need support, moral support, spiritual support, prayer support, and financial support. These haters do affect her and me and a lot of other people that come out on the internet in different ways. I mean, I've been here 3 years without working because of these haters and because of people that are friends of these haters. And a lot of people don't realize that, hey, whether I use water to water the plants out here or not, I still have to pay $75 a year for water. That's $750 in 10 months, and another $150 is $900 a year on water, whether I use it or not. And this month I paid $287 in a light bill. And I'm not saying all my lights inside the house are on. No, only the one in the living room stays on because the birds are there. And when I sit in the table, I turn on the light there, and the rest of the lights are off. But people don't realize that you in 3 years you can go through your savings because you didn't have another income coming in. You want the original Aunt Jemima bottle, Teresa Riley? Is that what you're talking about? That one was nice. The one with the maid. Um, that was always a nice bottle of syrup. It's the internet, Jenny. But I mean, they don't want us to say a lot of things, and it's like they got so offended. I don't know if the company actually lost money, but I know that the cream of wheat box took the chef that was there, the black chef, off. And I have a cream of wheat box in the Hilera. I don't know if he's back or not, but it's like, but in Spanish, we always said atole del negrito. So it's like, there was no other way of saying cream of wheat. How about that Waterburger cup, Teresa Riley? Do you have some of those nickel cups? They used to have the nickel cup for years. Waterburger would honor that cup and give you free coffee or a nickel coffee if you took that mug in. Oh, yeah, they took him off of the Uncle Ben's rice too. Mama Testa, tell Griselda hi. And just don't get caught with a baking soda. But of course, you're not going to get caught because those police officers are probably down mile 9 in one canal or another. KK, we usually eat cream of wheat when the weather changes over here, and this morning it felt crispy in my house, so I got my 12-ounce thing of milk. I put a 12-ounce cup of milk on my pot and 5 tablespoons of cream of wheat with 3 packets of sweet and low, and that's how I make mine. Then after it was done, I put some butter in it. But I was telling people on my TikTok, do you remember putting Nestle Quick on your cream of wheat growing up? Chocolate flavored or strawberry flavored Nestle Quick. And when mom would pour it hot, then we would get the powdered Nestle Quick, put it on top, and then start stirring it in. And it would either be chocolate flavored or strawberry flavored cream of wheat. Crispy is crispy is cold. No, I'm not gonna talk to you right now. Uh, Crispy is cold, just cold, not freezing. You all know that in South Texas, we're not gonna get freezing weather till February, maybe a week in February, but not right now. Right now, it's crispy, and I have a crazy cockatiel in the house. I took 3 eggs last month away from her because she had sat on them for 2 weeks and then got off for a week. So I'm like, those are dead. If she incubated them and got off for a week, they're dead. So I took the eggs out, and now she's got 4 eggs again. I tell you, those cockatiels have more sex than Ophelia does. I think it's in the 70s right now here in South Texas. 40 would be freaking cold for me. I wouldn't be sitting out here with my jammies, with my bata. Ooh, Hopi, is it a bowl or is it a bob? I like the sausage bobs, but the biscuit and gravy in a bowl is good too. I think Whataburger does the best comfort food because their biscuits and gravy are awesome. Well, I hope it doesn't get all the way over here, Teresa Riley. I don't like those Arctic blasts. One, I refuse to turn on the heater in this house. I will put a little heater for the birds next to them, one of them little electric ones, but I am not going to turn on the heater in this house because as soon as I turn that AC to heat, it dries up the whole house and my sinus is bad. Ooh, the biscuit sausage meal, that sounds awesome. I don't know how people can have the heater on and not have all their nose, sinus, and everything all dried out, just dying to breathe. Right now, I'm having sinus problems a lot, and I'm like, it's not even, it would be allergy season, but it's not. I mean, there's nothing in flower and bloom right now. And then one of the stupid pills that I take is causing my cough, and I've been coughing and coughing. So already went through the benzonato pills, and those can stop the cough, but it's like I'm not going to Mexico anytime soon, and I had only like 2 packs left. I think I have 1 pack left of benzonato, and that can stop a cough, but it's caused by one of the pills, and it's like a constant. I'm not even sick, and I'm coughing. Yes, because you can't have the heater on here in South Texas, Opie, because as soon as you turn it on, you get a worse sinus problem than what you had. I'll rather, if it's cold, I'll rather use blankets if I have to. I know, Jeannie, it's the best way is just to cover yourself with blankets. Probably KK, if the floors are heated, it radiates the heat a different way than if you're drying the air by heating the air with a central air unit. So maybe the oil heated floor system is a better way to heat a house. But I don't know that we have very many of those here set up here in Texas. I know I took the gas lines out of this house a lot of years ago because there was a gas leak and they wanted to break my driveway. And I'm like, do you know how many thousands of dollars that's going to cost? I'm like, no, just take the gas out. I'll put an electric stove. And at that time, I changed the water heater and the electric stove. Thank you, Teresa Riley. Um, yeah, it's like go get another account if you want to be a smart aleck. On this account, you're gonna have to have 20 minutes to resubscribe and try to put another smart ass remark. Remember that was in the freeze of 2020, and I remember I had gone down the road here and they had a whole bunch of leña cut up. Like they had cut some trees from one of the houses and just threw all the stumps on the side of the street. And I went and got Ophelia's kids and we loaded up the truck and we went to Frank's ranch to leave the leña, right? And he looks at the leña and he's like, "That's not mesquite, Angie. The hell are you doing bringing that stuff over here?" And I'm like, "I need somewhere to store it and it's going to be here." And then he looks at me and he didn't want to say no, right? So he's like, "Angie, take it all the way to the end of the fence line and put it way over there where I can't see it because it's not mesquite and you're bringing leña over here that's not mesquite." And I told him, "Brother, it's still going to get off heat. It doesn't need to be mesquite. You only need mesquite if you're barbecuing." So we went in through all the stumps and, we lined them up against the fence and left them there. And then we got that freeze and Ted Cruz and everybody else was with their kids and everybody on an airplane to Mexico because it was going to be too cold and they had turned off the Texas grid, so we had no light for 4 days. You know what, Hopi? That was the best 4 days in our family because we got to spend time doing things that we like to remember doing in our house in Mexico. We would do the bonfire and sit around the fire, and my mom would cook on the fire and stuff. So Ophelia was doing tortillas on the fire and cooking caldo and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. My brother Paulo was singing, and all of us would join in. And now we just get the memories back because I think we posted them on Facebook and Facebook pulls them back. Good morning, Cesar. How are you in California? Yes, we're celebrating Veterans Day, but we're also remembering what people don't like you to do in the internet, Cesar, like burp and drink coffee with Slurpees, like slurping your coffee in a nice cup given to me by one of the peacocks. She handmade it, so I love it. Um, Hi, Yaya. We're remembering the veterans today, Yaya, but we're also remembering that there's a lot of people that don't like certain things being done on the internet, like burping, eating, farting, and of course, talking, saying hi to people, um, saying, hey, how are you? How's your day? You know what? It doesn't matter what kind of a week you had. Chin up, sit on the porch, watch the cars go by, and remember that what happened yesterday is not going to happen again. And you do have to take one step forward and keep going forward. And don't look back unless it's to remember something nice. There's too many things that happen in our lives on a daily, that we need to not remember. Like, there just is. Hi, Tina. KK. Um, you know me, KK. I don't trust the Willacy County Police Department. They think with a head that's below their waist. Ophelia hates that I talk like that about the police department. She says that I'm very disrespectful. And I think that respect is like a ball. And if you throw respect to somebody, it should bounce back. But these motherfuckers don't respect anything. If you give them a blowjob, they're going to look the other way for you. And they have done that here for 3 years, and enough is enough. I will tell everybody the Willacy County Police Department runs with the head that's below their waist. And if Ophelia, my sister, thinks that I'm being disrespectful, too bad. It's the truth. They can come and talk to me about it. They can come and tell me, Gongora, because they're not going to call me Angie. They're going to call me Gongora because they know me by that last name because I worked with some of these motherfuckers in the correctional office that I worked at. So they know me by my last name. They know who I am, and they know that I'm not going to beat around the bush with them. If they're married, too bad. They should be thinking about those wives when they take advantage of females that are at their lowest point in their life. This is all satire. If it resembles something in your life, believe me, I'm not talking about you. I didn't mention your name. I didn't even mention the police officer's name. I can. Of course, I'm uh, exercising my First Amendment right, my freedom of speech. If I'm slandering somebody, then I wouldn't be saying it, but I'm not slandering anybody. You think so, KK? You think I'm one of the angels around here? Some people will beg to differ. Yes, Hopi, all of those police officers know me by my last name because for 10 years that they worked with me, they would get told the same thing. And in those years, we only knew each other by our last names at work. So at work, it was always look the other way, motherfucker. You're over 35. You're oil that's discontinued. What makes you think that somebody like me is going to be wanting to sit at the same table that she eats at? So they would hate that line. Um, I always made it a point. I don't date people I work with. I don't go out with people I work with. I don't invite them to my house. I made one Christmas party. Let me tell you all something that I did and breaking my own rules during the 10 years that I worked at the corrections office here in Willacy County in one of those jails because I worked in two different ones. I made one Christmas party for my coworkers. And it was a nice Christmas party. I went all out. I made carne guisada. I acted like it was a quinceañera, dude. I made carne guisada, frijoles a la charra, rice, beans, carne guisada, potato salad, and tamales. Okay? For all my coworkers, there was liquor here. It was all done on my carport. And I had tables set up and everything because a bunch of them were going to come. So we get all together and it got late. And I've always lived here by myself. There's lots of beds here. One of my bedrooms has two queen size beds. I have another room that doesn't get used at all, but there's a king size bed set up there and another twin size bed there. And then my king size bed. And then the living room has the sofas, the leather sofas, right? So not expecting anybody to stay over or anything, but we had a party that went late. And three of us were sitting watching everybody else, and it got fresh. It was getting crispy because it was in December. So I pulled out some colchas, and three of us were under one colcha, sitting on three different chairs, but the colcha was around all three of us because it was a big king size colcha. While we watched everybody else, having fun and enjoying themselves and stuff. And then I said, you know what? It's late. I'm going to go to sleep. It was already like 2 in the morning. Little did I know that all these little jerks were having sex in the back of my house with somebody. They were training somebody. And I didn't know. But then I went to work the next day. No, I was off the next day. And then the following day, I had to go back to work. Well, I worked night shift most of the time. And the day shift was saying, hey, Gongora, when are you doing your next party? Because my job was the gate where they had to be pat search coming in or pat search leaving. So I was at that gate and I was like, I'm not making another party. I already made the party I was gonna make and stuff like that. And I didn't find out what had happened until somebody came over here on my next day off and was asking if I had found a camera. And I'm like, no, I didn't find anything. But feel free to go around the house or wherever you think you might have dropped it. Well, then I found out that they had done that and that they were all having sex in my house. And it was like I didn't even know. I was clueless of what was going on. And that's where disrespect comes from. Everybody wanted me to make another party, but I didn't even know why, and I didn't know what had happened during that party at my house. Because I had already gone inside, I was tired, I was like, and then, from then on, it was always, no, I'm not making any more parties for you motherfuckers. You have no respect for anybody, and it's like, I made a party for everybody to have fun, and then you all went and broke all the rules that you could break. And, they never crossed the line because they already knew my line was going to be the same one. Look the other way, motherfucker. You're over 35. And it's like, I always said that, but it was just funny to me to say that. Uh, I've never gone out with anybody that's been less than 20 years younger than me because I have gone out with younger men, but um, I think the one I lived with, my husband was 7 years older than me, and the one that I lived with, the man that I lived with for 6 years, was 2 years older than me. But the people that I dated were all younger than me. And I'm not a saint. I'm not here to say that I'm a saint, but I will tell you I never dated anybody I worked with because you don't do that. How can you date somebody that you work with or sleep with them and then still go to work when you break up and they're talking about you with everybody else and their mother in that job? I don't think so. One of the other coworkers told me what had happened, Tina. So that was the only party that I ever made for my coworkers at the jail here at my house. Because of me finding out what had happened, and everybody on another shift wanted me to make a party, and I didn't know why until that person told me. Yeah, KK, that's exactly what they thought. We can just set Angie up and she can make an orgy over there at her house. She'll go with the flow. Not when it's costing me money. And when I was working, I didn't care to spend money on parties or food. I was making good money, so I didn't care. Of course, not everything was inflated. At those times, you could get a whole brisket for like $20, $32 the most. Now you gotta pay like 100 and something dollars for a brisket. Yes, yes, Hopi. It happened here on my driveway at my house, and it was like I couldn't believe that it happened. But you know what's worse, Hopi? Uh, I'll tell you what's worse. The three people that were under that blanket sitting on the chairs, watching everybody else, and I was one of them. It was me and another girl and one guy that I would have never, ever, ever thought that guy would cross the line as far as to be incarcerated for being a child pornography person. Like, they caught him with lots of pictures on the internet in his phone and stuff, and he went to jail for it. But I mean, it's like I would have never thought that person was like that. So when you think that these motherfuckers that work in the corrections or that are police officers are saints, they're not saints. So, I mean, I never would have thought, Hopi, that person was like that, and he was the nicest person to work with. Can y'all remove Mike? Um, yeah, there come the haters. In 1985, I was in Texas City. I lived in Texas City for like 20 years, Mike. I don't think that I dated you in 1985, but claims you. But we need those haters. We all hide the muscle. Well, Damaso, let's see. When was the last time that me and you were in Vegas? It was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I think 2 years ago. Um, I need to get a job, Damaso. Going to Vegas costs money, lots of money. Even if they give you the rooms for free, you still gotta spend money for the little bus that takes you everywhere if you don't want to walk. And there's a lot of casinos that are not in the strip. Thank you, Peacocks United. But hey, as soon as I get a job, Damaso, we'll meet in Vegas. I know I had a lot of fun when we went the last time. We even went outside of Vegas to a casino. Yes, when I'm in Vegas or when I'm in Louisiana, I play them. I like to play Keno though because it just takes longer to spend your quarter playing Keno because most of the other machines, Hopi, are from 75, 50 cents and up, but you can still find Keno machines for a nickel in Vegas or in Louisiana or here in the valley. I like to play Keno more than the regular machines, but that's only because it'll last, my money will last longer there. I was telling Ophelia I can't wait for Thanksgiving because Evita will come in Thanksgiving, and I know Evita's gonna want to go to the game room. You didn't like the Keno machines in Raymondville? Why? Ophelia hates it when I get on the ones that give you the four hearts, like the first four numbers that you pick. If they come out during the play, it'll give you a bonus. And sometimes I get like the bonus, and then it keeps going, like it re-triggers and re-triggers and re-triggers. I've gotten up to 100 spins for free on the Keno machines that they have here. But then they have other game rooms here that have shitty Keno machines. I know the one that's on 490. I played their Keno machines and I didn't like them. Yeah, it's like the first four numbers. When you get on the ones that say Texas Hearts or something like that, the first four numbers that you touch are gonna be the ones that are gonna be put into the bonus game that they give out on that machine, which is, you know, if those four numbers hit, you're gonna get free spins. But yeah, these people are bad. It's like, no, I don't. And in the last 3 years, I found out that you can't trust anybody. So it's like, a ver qué pasa. But hey, it's been almost an hour. I want to thank you all for allowing me into your space, into your Tuesday morning. Don't forget to keep OM in your prayers for a lot of reasons. And don't forget, OM will come back. And she will come back with her public apologies that are always real floreadas. You all already know that. And we love it. I mean, we love that haters can hate and people can be talking smack on other platforms. People can be talking smack on other platforms when their sons break things that they haven't paid for, and then they get parked in my driveway for over 2 years. Everybody knows Kim Rames likes to talk smack on a lot of platforms, but her son Daniel has not paid for that white truck that's parked on my driveway. And I know he doesn't have the eggs to come and pick it up because he needs to let $8,000 go. And see, in Texas, we don't beat around the bush to tell you how it is. Kim Rames, your son owes money. He broke a motor on this truck that's parked on my driveway. I would like to have my driveway a little bit more free of space, but your son is holding me back from having that space, Kim. Now, if you don't want me to talk about you, you can always pay up what your son owes my brother, and hey, he can take the truck out of my driveway. Otherwise, anytime I can or will, I will say it, Kim. You like to talk smack about my sister on other platforms? Brush your hair with your little arthritic hand, or get my gay uncle to brush it for you and pay the $8,000 that your son owes. Was that one straight enough, Hopi? I don't have to beat around the bush with these people. They talk smack about a lot of things. I mean, people in this one cow town talk smack about. I never used the Moreno last name here, so a lot of people don't know. Now they know because I hang around with a lot with Ophelia. But for a lot of years, nobody knew that my family was Moreno because I went by Gongora, and all my coworkers called me Gongora, and Moreno was never mentioned. So when they started finding out that I was a Moreno, well, guess what? A lot of those people owed rent money to my brother. And I always kept the last name Gongora to protect the innocent. I worked at a federal correctional facility that had a lot of people that were just waiting to go to court to be sentenced. So these people are going to get out and you're going to see them somewhere in the valley. So why do you want these people to know who you're related to? If you're being a mean officer, I never was, but I mean, just saying, if you were a mean officer and you just, were mean, then you would put everybody that's related to you in a position where they would probably pay the price. So I always kept the Gongora last name and the Moreno last name separate. I never was mean to anybody in there. I didn't have to be. I walked around with a pen in my hands and they would see the pen. And I would tell them, I'm here to give you anything that you want that's within my means. If you need paperwork, even if it's paperwork to write me up, I'll give it to you. If you need games, I'll give them to you. If you all need forms from the library because you want to request books, I'll give you the forms so you can request books from the library. But if you fight on my 8 hours, and I would show them the pen, the power of the pen on a write-up that goes straight to the judge is going to affect you. Don't make me use the pen. So I never, in the 10.5 years that I worked in the prison system here in Willacy County, did I see a fight. Never. And there was a riot in the next unit when I had already moved from that unit to the one in the back. But that riot was done totally for their own reasons. They were mad at the doctors, they were mad at the nurses, they were mad at everybody. But those people were not mad at the officers. They told all the female officers and all the male officers, this is going to come down, you all need to leave. And most of the officers got out before the riot. So it's like, they were not after the officers because most of the officers are just there doing their job. And when you're in these facilities here, I want you to know you have only your mouth to defend you because you're in there with 50 people in a room with nothing. No mace, no guns, no nothing. You better know how to defend yourself when you're in there. And most of the time, you're going to defend yourself by talking to these people the right way and by de-escalating situations when they occur. And that's what a lot of people need to realize is that most of the fights that happen It's because they're frustrated. They're incarcerated in there. They're frustrated. They want to be outside. But it's not because the officers are causing anything. It's because they're just frustrated. And they do have to wait to go to court. And most of the officers are walking in there with nothing but a pen. And they already know the power of that pen. So, I mean, it's like it doesn't bother me to say it that way. That's how it is. You get trained to de-escalate situations because you need to be trained to de-escalate situations. What happened in October of 2022 on my driveway was something that needed to happen that way to de-escalate a bigger situation, and it still went out of control, but it was de-escalated by me dropping everybody down. And I wasn't even fighting. The everybody that has seen the video sees me saying I'm just holding on to her till police get here. And it's like that's how it is. You have to de-escalate something. You don't pull the gun on anybody. You don't shoot that gun. You don't do anything with that gun unless they're endangering your life or somebody else's life or even their own life. But you don't use that gun just because you have it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand around here. It's like they're full of crap. They get away with crap like that truck being broken and not paid for over 2 years because they want to be shitty doing drugs or whatever the hell Danny's doing. I don't care. You know, but did my brother have to lose that kind of money and still be waiting for a motor that is probably outpriced right now and not fix the vehicle and it's still parked? I mean, it took me over 2 years to fix the red Nissan. And right now it's parked again because the battery went bad on it. Because I had to when it got parked, it had a brand new battery. And then when I got it back, it had no battery in it. So I told the junkyard to put a battery in it. And it was an older battery, I guess. I paid them $50 for it. But the battery's bad. So it's like, it's parked. I can't use it. It needs a battery. But such is life. I want to thank everybody for allowing me into their space, into their Tuesday morning, and keep us in your prayers because we're going forward. We don't turn back and we don't bend for anybody. Just like those veterans are out there fighting for your rights, remember them and pray for them every day and wish them a well trip back to their families. Bye, everybody.